Did you get everything you need, sir?
Is there anything else that you needed?
I'm not leaving my property until we go leave together.
Is there anything else?
I don't even trust her with you.
Is there anything else that you?
Okay. Why don't you trust her with me?
First of all,
hold on, wait, stop.
You did.
This is my house.
You own the house, but you rent it, sir.
Stop it.
Fred.
Yeah.
Okay, go on and do what you're going
I'm
to do.
going to do what I'm doing. I'm taking a report.
Yeah, and I'm going to call first. I can call Brett.
Don't do that. Don't do that to him, because he ain't even done nothing.
No,
This is what you're doing. You getting
I
on
opened
to
that door 'cause she was
everybody.
in the way.
But you getting
She
on
was
to
standing behind us,
everybody.
so you committed an assault.
You getting on to
And a
everybody.
burglary because you can't go into your house if you've rented it to somebody.
Let me tell you what happened, sir.
You barged into the door. I seen it.
The door was open.
Y'all stop.
The door was
The door
closed.
was open, but she was
And
standing
she was
behind it,
standing right there. And I asked her, we coming in.
You pushed it open.
You said she was a
Now we
sheriff.
can do this. You can leave or you can go to jail with me. How about that?
Sir, listen to me, man.
Okay.
Live here in Charleston, Missouri, in the 600 block of Lee Street. I want you to take a real good look at this. Female was evicted out of here probably around the 14th of December. The landlord came with a sheriff, I believe, with an eviction notice, and he tried to force his way in. The young female had no other place to go. The young female had 2 children in there. The children's ages right now is 9 and 2.5. So the child had to be about 2 years old. Now the individual that's the landlord of this here, he used to be the president of the NAACP. I want you to see the address of it. It's 603 Lee Street here in Charleston, Missouri. Notice how it's boarded up. Some Mexicans I seen a few months ago redoing the roof. Some white individuals is doing this house. Now, if you evicted this female out of this house just recently in December of 2022, and this house been like this here ever since, then you had this female living in a place that wasn't fit to even pay rent. But then when you look at the video, I just want y'all to just see this here. This is an individual that some of the people in the town look up to as a leader. The city of Charleston, Missouri allowed him as a felon to be on the zone committee. And I believe they said he owned all of this here, plus a whole lot of other properties. But you see all the way around this house. If that female was living in there with her children, we know that she wasn't living in there comfortably. But then on December, the late evening of December the 7th, 2020, December the 7th of 2022, a sheriff deputy from the Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County Department came, I believe, with an eviction notice. And the landlord, a former NAACP president, vice president, he's still an NAACP member on the zone committee for the city of Charleston, Missouri. And also, he has his own consulting or company or organization, Stellar Consultant. He also has what he called some centers, Fresh Start Performance Center, which right down the street there on Paul Street, right off of Lee. He claimed that to be one of the centers. But we know that ain't one of the centers. We know that's a house. Some people said he made it out of an apartment. But forced this female, came into there, and he didn't even have respect for you'll listen to this video real good. He didn't even have respect for the law enforcement official that came in there and told him, you can't just force your way in. And then he tried to say the door was open. Then he said it was closed. But the deputy, he asked the deputy, what I do? He said, you barged in there. This girl had a barely 2-year-old and a barely 8-year-old at the time living in there with them. They terrified, all of them terrified. Late evening. That's what the Ku Klux Klan used to do. But I want you to listen when he tells this individual, he don't even trust him staying there with the female. He don't trust the law enforcement official who came to serve the papers. In other words, he told him that he said he gonna call Brent Farrow. Brent Farrow is the head sheriff here. What would Brent Farrow say that this deputy wouldn't say? That he know that this deputy came over here to serve, but the landlord don't have any right to force his way in there. Now listen to that video real good. This is an individual that y'all in this town, some of y'all in this town, look up as being a leader. You see what I'm saying? How many other people, especially females, have he done like this here? I know a few. I know a few. I know a few people in this town that this man was buying their food stamps. I know some people in this town was working with him when he was working for Susanna Wesley Family Learning Center, when they made $500, when Town and Country supermarket was open here in Charleston, Missouri, he would have them to go to Town and Country supermarket or go to McLean's, the only supermarket we have left here, cash their check and give them half. Now, why would that female even have to pay rent in this place if she was evicted in December 2022, 6 months later? Look at it now. Remember all these positions this individual have. He had houses all the way from the white folks neighborhood, all the way, most of them is here in the black neighborhood. And then he naming some of them as his center. Is this legal? Is this man above the law? Well, if the local law enforcement officials, the county, don't get involved, I'm sure the state and the federal government will get involved, because what's going on is a crime. He shouldn't have never been able to tell that deputy. That deputy told him. See, what he was doing in the law, in the criminal law, what he was doing when somebody in the house and you trying to force your way in against their will, that's called home invasion, because somebody in there. If they standing by the door and you barging your way in and the door hit them, that's called an assault. I know a young guy right around the corner that used to live right around the corner here on Vine Street, right off of Lee Street, is going to court right now for that same thing, closing his own door, and a female happened to be behind him and fall, and her mother happened to put assault on him. What's going on here in Charleston, Missouri? Those of y'all that don't like what I'm doing, I'm an activist. I'm an NAACP, real NAACP member. How is y'all falling behind this man? How is y'all working up under being his staff? I can see his family members. But I wouldn't back my family members if they have somebody, a female, a black female living in. It don't make no difference what color, but we in the black neighborhood, some of us struggling. This female is struggling today, her and her children. They're afraid. She even afraid to even press charges on this individual because people tell him he know the state representative all the way from Jefferson City here to Charleston, Missouri. He knows the judge, the prosecuting attorney, because he worked it with both of them at Susanna Wesley Family Learning Center. I'm going to leave for right now. But let's pray for that young lady and her daughters. Her 2 children, 2.5 and 9 years old. They actually need a place to stay. They living from place to place. Barely. Help her, y'all. Peace be still.